I do want to. I'm going to jump to Skyscape for a moment. I'm going to make Heathen Dog talk about something.
Okay.
Um, there's a Meat Bag, and I think is actually in our chat. He had such an amazing answer. It was book length, but I love those kind of answers. So I want, and I'm doing this for learning. I'm not doing this to call out a commenter. I'm not even going to mention his name. But somebody put, when we were covering one of the Rifters, somebody put that, hey, there's a problem with psionics in Rifts, and that it is so underpowered, it's worthless, and these Rifters and books like Skyscape, et cetera, yada, yada, have to come out in order for anybody to want to play a psychic because they're garbage. And
All
so now the mentality was you read the entire chain, like even Beat Magnet's
Yeah.
response. Okay,
Yeah.
so maybe you can explain what this guy was trying to say a little bit better because I want to represent his side well, but then find out where's the truth in this.
All right. The poster of that comment had posited the idea that psionics was too weak to matter in Palladium in general, Rifts in particular. The reason being is because magic and technology is so much better in every way. Now, I responded with magic, psionics, and technology, while they can, sometimes emulate each other, are made for different purposes. Magic is real flashy, real strong, but not secret, and real heavy on resources, being PPE.
Real quickly, Hindog, my take on that is that secrecy is immensely powerful in and of itself.
And that's what I went with. Psionics, well, for the most part, for like 9 times out of 10, is not as powerful as magic. But you do it, it's secret, it's covert, and it's cheap for resources. ISP. Generally, psionics are cheaper than magic. And that's the difference. I mean, later on, he responded to that. I responded again, saying that you have to get the idea of psionics is a combat tool. It is not. It is a multi-tool. It is very versatile. It is made to work in many situations. And combat is not the main one. I'm sorry. I mean, unless you want to be a mind melter, which is why mind melters are so feared, why master psychics are so feared, because they have powers that approach magical damage and yet still maintain complete covert status.
Yep.
Like a mind melter barely has to look around the room and he can kill 5 people. Whereas a mage has to throw his hands around, say goobly gobbly gook, and like glow for a second, and then boom, 5 people die. Well, everyone's going to know who did it. Joe, why'd you kill those people? What, me? Dude, you were holding your hands around, you were gesticulating like a madman, you were saving bibbly bobbly boo, and then 5 people died. Dude, you did it. Whereas,
the psychic is sitting there in the truck, just pretending he's sleeping.
Sitting there in a corner, just looked at you funny, and then you dropped dead of a heart attack. Oh my God, Billy Bob dropped dead. Oh, he shouldn't have had so much bacon. No one knows. No one knows. And covert stuff, hiding, sneaking, all that stuff. Psionics is just better than magic.
Yeah, Beat Magnet had such a good reply too.
Magic can do the job, but psionics does it more efficiently. You don't have to take over someone's mind to sneak past a guard. You Jedi mind trick noise. He looks, you sneak by, boom, done. You spent 2 ISP. A mage can do the same thing by spending 40 PPE. Okay, who did it better? Well, in the long run, I'm going to say the psionic did it better. If you need information from someone, yeah, you can have your full conversion cyborg, point a minigun at his head, start spinning it up, and he'll talk. But people are gonna think some things about you after that. You can have the mage, do all this flashy nonsense, like summon demons and stuff like that to scare him into talking. Yeah, you can do that too. Or you can have a psychic come in there, ask him a question. No, he's lying. Ask him a question again. No, he's lying. And then and if he's a master psychic, do a little evil eye on him, cause him pain. Oh no! Oh, it hurts so bad. No one sees anything. He just starts crying like a little girl. He starts crying,
I'll tell you everything.
And then he spills it and tells you everything he knows. But to the observer, you just talked to him smiling. He started crying and then told you everything he knows. What's more efficient? The psionic with all that lie stuff is like 2-4 ISP, and then the evil eye is what, like 10 maybe.
Yep.
And that's it.
Well,
And
let's hit the other pillar as well, the technology one. My argument for technology was the fact that you don't always have it with you. You have to make it. You have to wear it. You're still noticeable in some fashion, form or fashion. Whether it's armor, mega damage armor isn't something that just looks like, the shirt right here,
Yeah.
And it can be taken away from you. Let me remove your helmet. Guess what? You no longer have mega damage protection on your noodle. So
yeah, technology isn't like the poster was supposing that there's 3 pillars of power in Rifts: magic, psionics, and technology. I don't agree with that premise. Technology is not a pillar of anything. Technology is playing catch up in this new world to magic and psionics. It is not a pillar. It is not a main thing. It is a supplement. Mages and psionicists require technology to be safe and useful in every situation. Just magic and just psionics alone, you're going to have gaps in your abilities or your protection or whatever. Technology covers the holes in pretty much everything.
So the final thing that I just, because it was the point this guy made, is he said that by power and by range and apparently by ISP cost. See, he said something in there. I'm not as versed in this. ISP doesn't come back as quickly or something. He said those 3 things make the psychic, just objectively, according to him, worse than any mage, and there's no reason to ever have a psychic without using things like the rifters that come up and fill those holes that need to be filled.
And of course, what we were talking about, Psyscape, which opens up a whole bunch of new OCCs that have very specialized psychics that are very powerful in combat. And I think that is the poster's problem. He's only thinking of these things, technology, magic, and psionics, through the scope of combat, which is wrong. Absolutely wrong. Someone like him also would say city rats are useless.
Yep.
Wilderness scout, who needs them?
Vagabond.
I'll just kill everything in the woods, right? Does a bear shit in the woods? I don't know, because they're all dead. I killed them all with my boom gun. No, that's not the way to do it. All right. So that's not the way. So psionics is if you have a psionic in your party, you have a guy who can massage situations. Not overtly, like bulldoze over crap, but get by, that he can be your face man, or he can emulate the goings on of a city rat, or stuff like that, to a limited degree, obviously, but still a little bit. He's your jack of all trades, because psionics is that. It is a Leatherman. It is a multi-tool. You can do a whole lot. Not as great as someone who specializes in it, but you can do a whole lot of stuff. And it's useful all the time, except for in combat. But even then, as long as your psionic plays it smart, he can be a very good support tool in any combat. Very good support tool. And
in close combat.
Oh, easy. Yeah. I mean, when you're a level higher and your masters,
But yeah, close combat, urban combat, he's a deadly mother.
If he can see your eyes, you're in trouble. He's got something to do to you that is going to make your day suck. Now, is it going to overtly kill you, or scanners like pop your head like a balloon? No. But it's going to do something that's going to get you killed by something else. If you suddenly can't walk and you're in the middle of combat, your life expectancy is shot down quite a bit. Or if you're suddenly blind in combat, guess what? Same thing. He didn't overtly kill you, but he damn well got you killed. So if you go into psionics understanding that okay, it is not specifically for combat, then you're gonna have a better time. Your brain, your mind is gonna be open, and you're gonna have a better time, because these Psyscape OCCs, while they a lot of them are very combat focused, but it's because their psionics are very specialized. So you don't get the multi-tool approach. You get the I'm just here now. This is where I live. You know, I'm basically a Rift's Jedi in one of them. Like, this is where I live now. But you don't get all the other cool stuff.
Okay, so with that, is that a common misconception? I know what Heathen Dog was expressing what was going on in that chat, or that whatever. Is that a common misconception that you hear, and what do you say to anyone that Heathen may not have covered for people who do feel that psychics are underpowered?
So first of all, I want to thank Heathen Dog for his passionate response. I agree of 99% of it. It's absolutely correct. No, in fact, it's funny. I often say everything is a matter of perception and degree. So clearly from this individual's perception, psionics is a waste of time. I more often get, Max, people saying, I don't allow psychics in my game, especially mind melters, because they're too powerful. That's what I hear all the time. And I disagree with that too. But yeah, you know, in my group, when people encounter in Palladium Fantasy, it's a mind mage. In Rifts is a mind melter, but they're essentially the same thing. People start to quake because, oh shit, it's a mind melter. And who knows what this guy can do to me. Especially within close range. And exactly what Heathen Dog was saying, these guys are exceptional. And what you were saying too, Max, they're exceptional in close combat. They're exceptional in almost every situation, because you can pat these guys down. You can strip them naked to make sure they don't have a weapon or a magic item on them. You can bind their hands. You can gag them. You know, you gag a mage, he's in trouble. These guys, they have powers of the mind, for Pete's sake. He can still create, biomanipulation.
You could blind them, and they're still like 87% combat effective. You know, like that's the way it is.
They can, those who are powerful enough, like a mind melter, can create a psi sword, which is also what she has in her hand. She has a psi sword and a psi shield. That's a weapon they form out of their, energy of the mind. That is basically, for lack of a better analogy, is kind of a lightsaber. Yeah. I mean, you can have that guy tied up, and it better be chain or some kind of fiber that's a MDC thing, because otherwise, if there's a dagger or something around, you might be able to use telekinesis to bring it over and cut his binds, or use telekinesis to put that sword right between your ears. They're awesome characters. But yeah, are they long range? Can they go up against a glitter boy or a legion of Samus? No, but again, if well run, depending on the situation, maybe. So, and in fact, the reason I was holding up this book is this book has more. It's got 50 new psionic abilities, and for power gamers, this is not for you, because those abilities are all very subtle, and they tie into the manhunters, and so they're abilities that help the manhunters, hunt down their targets and kill them. So, and the thing I think people miss about psionics too is, from day one, I've always been fascinated with psychic abilities. And so they're very much based on, I hesitate to say real life, because a lot of it's conjecture, not things that have been based,
provable facts
that have been provable, right?
Yeah,
thank you. Proven in a lab, but there are all kinds of mind powers, from pyrokinesis to hydrokinesis to telekinesis and levitation and reading minds. I mean, again, Heathen Dog, you really touched on it. So very well, covered it very, very well. So yeah, and that's the thing too, is, try not to let your psychic characters be too dominant in the game. But a player who plays them well, they're deadly as hell. And they make great assassins, they make great spies, they make great thieves. I mean, yikes. And they make great heroes. I mean, I don't want to make them sound like they're bad guys now, because they're not.
All right.
Yep, there you go.
Well, now we covered 2 books sort of in here and the stuff. Jeremy, anything you want to jump in on? I know you had to step away for a moment. Anything you want to jump in on, or do we beat that one down?
No, that one's actually pretty well gone through. I'm glad you guys touched base on psionics. That's fantastic. You all made great points.
Yeah, I'm that.